Jim in Worcestershire, UK. I guess where the sauce came from. Must be. I like Worcestershire sauce. Anyway, Jim writes to me a rather long letter. So he says, I have really enjoyed your Audiophiles Guide, and I'm looking forward to the new one, the Audiophiles Guide, the speaker. Well, thank you. Something that I have discovered, though, and I think your advice regarding the choice between floor standing and stand-mounted speakers may be incorrect in certain situations. Oh boy. See, people like to call me out. As I live in the UK, many living rooms are not that large. I had stand-mounted Wharfedale Diamond 10.1 speakers and dual rel subs. But the bass response in the little diamonds was chuffing at moderate listening levels. Someone I knew was selling a pair of diamond floor standers, and your advice rang out in my head. Why buy stand mounts when floor standers take up the same space? Exactly. That's the advice that I gave in the Audiophiles Guide. So I went for it. At first, I was impressed. I had my subs crossed over nearly at their lowest, and the music had real weight. But after a few months, the bass became problematic. Upstairs, the kids moaned. My neighbors messaged me complaining, "Turn the bass down." After 16 years of no complaints. But I couldn't control it. I tried speaker placement, moving as far from the boundaries as I could go. I have now gone back to stand mounts and the newer Wharfedale Evo 4s. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, I love this. So yeah, my good friend Seth Godin, who is, some of you may know who Seth is. He's kind of a famous sort of guy, and a great audiophile. He bought one of the first pair of these speakers, the FR30s. I think he bought a black pair, put them in his room, and was one of the first people to sell the FR30s, sadly. And I was kind of heartbroken, and I think Seth was as well. And the reason he had to sell it is the neighbors were complaining that the bass was driving him crazy, and Seth didn't want to bother the neighbors. And good on you for being a nice neighbor. I've got some neighbors who have these little dogs, and these little dogs, I want to kill them. Yeah, sorry, I know there's a lot of dog lovers out there. And I love dogs too, but I don't love dogs that drive me bananas. Hey, they're right over the fence, and there's this little squirrel that runs across taunting these two dogs. And they're like, ow, 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 ow. They just go bananas. They are the loudest, squeakiest little yip yips I have ever heard in my life. I'm sitting in my office 50 feet away trying to concentrate or work or something, and these dogs are just going bananas. And I understand dogs go bananas, right? But hello, can you pull your dogs in, do something? I don't know. Don't get me going. But there are neighbors that are more caring of other people around them, and so good on you for doing that. There's no question that one of the drawbacks of stand-mounted speakers, of floor-mounted speakers versus stand-mounted speakers is the bass coupling. And one of the reasons I prefer floor-mounted speakers to stand-mounted speakers is that very reason. You get more box, you get more bass, you get better coupling to the floor. It sounds better, as you heard, right? You heard it. So that's correct. But there is a downside. When you couple to the floor, and maybe you have wooden floors, that's going to act like a drum and drive people bananas. So I should have mentioned that, and apologies for not having brought that up. So sorry about that. I appreciate you writing in. Okay, take it easy. Thanks. Bye.